Okay, let's do this, hey? Oh, So next week, we will have the opportunity to answer your questions. If you would like to bring with you any question you would like to ask, or provide it to the host who will ask the question for you. You are not to provide or send your question to the medium. Rather, bring it with you on that time, and we will answer your question accordingly. It may be on anything you would like, but the preference would be for those which are interesting for all people that attend or listen to these talks. But the choice is yours. So let us carry on. The first part of our talk today is regarding meditation. There are people that sit in meditation and find the eternal stillness. And these are the people then that achieve all the qualities of what that stillness brings to them. And it is often spoke about in various scripture of these people finding their true connection to either their absolute or their God, or even to their true self, or to absolutely nothing, the nothingness, the void, the emptiness. But it is not those people that I wish to talk about. There are those which sit in meditation, and in essence, all they do is sit and think within their mind. Their mind is constantly churning over their day's events, always thinking about what was done or what will be done. And then they remember where they are and what they are doing, and return to their meditation briefly. They have trouble holding their focus. Some, of course, are using a mantra. Some may be following breath. There are many other types of meditation that one could follow. Occasionally, for this person, they find a glimpse of the truth, a beautiful experience, awareness, or knowing. They may have a glimpse of complete stillness for a few seconds. They may experience beautiful love. In fact, they may sit in beauty, and life is quite peaceful for those few moments. They may witness light or color or healing or love. Now, each of those experiences they have are a glimpse of where they could be. It is then their desire to sit with these beautiful experiences on a more permanent basis. And they come out of their meditation and say, that's where I want to go another time. That is the experience I must have. But these glimpses of truth seem to be all too infrequent. But one must set their desire, and it is the only desire that you should have. One should set their desire to be with the beauty of that experience. Now, if I was to ask anyone who had experienced this, they would all say, I want that again. But their mind takes over one more time after another. So they should learn their focus and hold their beauty, and hold it to such an extent that it becomes their primary focus in life. Now, meditation is not just a formal sitting. One sits in a particular corner of a room and undertakes a certain practice, maybe quite regularly during their week or their day. But meditation is beyond that, sitting still for 30 or 60 minutes. Meditation is throughout one's waking state, that one could be so focused on the beauty that one can sweep leaves or even undertake work while still connected to the beauty that is within them. So meditation is both in your formal sitting, but can also be in your everyday tasks of doing. You'll realize within a period of time that there is no separation between sitting and doing. All of activity and no activity is a meditation practice. In essence, the practice here is to retain one's focus on beauty. So as a consequence, the more one practices meditation in the form of doing, the more it assists one in a meditation practice of sitting. And of course, vice versa. So one practice supports the other. And then this true practice becomes true devotion. The one is devoted the beauty, towards the truth, towards the void, the emptiness. One is dedicated on that journey towards that end result. So true devotion then means one is pure in intent. And there's a story which will illustrate this, and it's a story I've been given before, but with slightly different meaning before. There was a meditation practitioner who sat underneath a tamarind tree every day. The sit would be regular, both in time, but also every day the sitting took place in the same location. And the practice carried on for quite some time. Now, in fables and stories, there is a messenger of God called Narada. And Narada's job was to travel the earth and look for how those dedicated towards God and saying their devotion to God were progressing in their activities. And one day, Narada came across this person sitting underneath the tamarind tree and sat and waited for the person to finish their meditation. And he spoke to the person about, what are you doing? He said, I am dedicating my life towards God, and I sit in my stillness with the aim of meeting God one day. Who are you? He said, I am Narada. I am a messenger from God, and I am reviewing all the progress of the people who claim to be devoted towards God. If you would like, I can take a message back to God for you. And the person said, can you ask him then, when will we meet? And the following day, Narada came back and waited for them to finish their meditation and said to the person, I do have a reply for you. What was the reply? He said, well, I fear that my reply may make you sad of heart. But if you have an answer from God, I wish to hear it, whatever it may be. And Narada said, well, if you look at this tamarind tree, for every leaf that's on this tree, and there are 1,000,000 of them, then you will have to wait 1 year for every leaf, and then you will meet God. But rather than depression, the person was elated and said, I will meet God. Narada said, have you heard my words? It will be 1,000,000 years before you meet your Creator. And I said, well, I don't care if there's 1,000,000 years or not. I know now that I will meet God, and I am rejoiced no end. My time does not matter, but my result does. And this was the path of true devotion. But in that instant, God appeared in front of the man. And Narada said, my Lord, what are you doing? You are making me out to be a liar. You said we have to wait 1,000,000 years, and now you are here. God said, those things are for the mortal world. When one is true in their path, I will come instantly and be with them. If you are true to your progress of meditation, and true that that is what you want, and you sit with your beauty, and you let go of the mind and become focused on what you truly wish to appear, and you reinforce this practice by letting go of the mind and seeking that stillness that you seek. And if your heart is in the action, you will be given the result that you wish. But you must be true to it. And you must be committed to it and prove your truth and commitment. You are being given glimpses of that beauty. Be true to that beauty. And then the result will come to you. Now, this result may be the appearance of your Creator or of your deity, of endless love, of separation beyond the body, the life of the eternity, the expansiveness, the singularity, the joy beyond measure, the endless peace that is undescribable. Or are you attracted by the whims and needs of the body, the wanderings of the mind, the need to do rather than the peace that you say you so crave? So in your practice, if that is your true goal, each time your mind wanders to thought, return it to what you truly want. I am not here for thought and mind. I am not here for the ache and the pain. I am here for my stillness. And refocus time and time again. That is your devotion. That is your proof of devotion. And that will give you your reward. And yet you treat your Creator as your secretary and say, resolve this for me, take this away from me. And yet you are not dedicated to what you truly say that you want. And the attractiveness of the mind replaces the attractiveness of stillness. Be present in your day. Be still even when you are doing something. Note that your doing comes from your stillness, and be primarily with your stillness. You may then walk one foot in front of the other, but for you, nothing moves at all. In fact, if you are truly eternal, then there can be no movement for you. But the body appears to move forward and backwards. But you do not. So in sitting still and being still, then you find your true connection. And you find yourself in every other living being. You connect to what is outside of the physical form. And then you connect to what is inside every physical form. So be true to your devotional practice. In your meditation time, I sit here now for my stillness. And then your stillness will give you all that you want and more, and everything that is available in all of creation. You step away from the death of the body. You step away from the need to be constantly in a body. You step away from the pains, the complications, the elations, and the sadness. They have no meaning to you, because your stillness is your primary self. All love will flow through you, all being will be present in you. You become the radiant light that no words will match. And life then is the prayer. Not the doing of a prayer, but is the prayer. Perhaps we can talk more about prayer some other time. So resolve for yourself today. What is it you truly want in your meditation? And for the balance of 1 week, have this purely as your focus. Each time your mind drifts away from your mantra into thought, remember this single desire and let it be with you there. Do not be shaken from it. And as you become more true and devoted to that single practice, you'll be given all that you want in time and outside of time. So let us get to the healing list of names. If I may have those names now, please.
Thank you. Yes. Taylor, Craig and Amanda, Natalie and Maddie, Chantel, Michael Caputo, Joy and Dennis, Teresa Neal, Mrs. Div, Raz, Howard and Chris, Kathleen and Anne, Mitsuki, Keiko and Dave, Katz, Django and Ellie, Karen, Ross, Lily, Amanda Kay, Alex, Rob, Susie, Aiden, Abby and Brett, Jill, Britt, Mason, Stephen, Matthew, Eric, Marianne, Jody, John, Andy, Don, Danielle, Mirabai, Douglas, Maheshwari, Coulter, Tim, Helen, Susie and Kevin, Kathy, Deborah, Carrie Ann and Jeanette, and of course, may all be happy. Thank you.
So in our series of talks that we are undertaking currently, we have spoke about heavier emotions which can suppress or keep one inactive and feeling still, rather like the heavy blanket. And then we spoke about last week how fear is also a heavier emotion, but rather than keeping one still, can actually give action. And so therefore, fear and the emotions we'll talk about this and next time are emotions which are of a higher vibration than the heaviness of the dense emotions that have once been spoken about. So these emotions have a meaning that there is movement with them, can mean that there is a connection to time and also to the ego. So fear, last week's topic, was very much linked to the ego. And in fact, the ego is a generator of fear and its associated fact. Now, we have spoken about fear before, and this was a different talk. And it's the same with today's talk. We have spoken about desire before. But again, this is a different aspect of it. So desire, also meaning there is movement. And because there is movement, there is very much connected to the physical world. So desires belong in the physical world. And they are desires surrounding perhaps the body, perhaps time. They are connected to the past and to the future. And there is a fear underneath them of inadequacy and maybe the resulting fear of death. Now, desire keeps one looking into the future and saying, this is what will fulfill my inner problems or my inner feeling of lack. The desire may be around your circumstance, maybe around your material life, maybe around your body, your physical self. And the desire or sitting in the ego, at times will have emotions attached to it. So if the desire does gain emotion to it, it can become fundamental in that person's life. And the desire changes into a need. I must have, I have to have this particular thing. Now, this thing could be, as I said, a circumstance, something material. It could be another person. It could be a change in location. But it keeps one looking forward. And therefore, the person misses the inner world where this lack is truly fulfilled. And so, because the ego says it is something out there that I must obtain, then they see the external world as being the real world, and also see that their happiness is dependent upon that real world, or the false world, which they say holds their source of happiness. So there is only one desire one should have, and that may be the desire for truth. This desire for truth is setting the course, but then it must be surrendered. So you set your intention truly and once, and then you travel your way with this in your mind, but not restated, but knowing it is there. And you travel your journey and follow wherever that journey must take you. There is nothing that is missing inside of you. All of your desire and your work is inside. There is no happiness in that external world, only but glimpses of it. And that glimpse must only be a signpost to your interior pathway. No more than that. So desire is very much linked to the ego. The ego then, because it is full of doing and the need to do something, that dissatisfaction must mean one cannot find their true spiritual self. But by setting your truth, you can point towards your true self. Hence, it must only be said once. But it must be in the core of yourself, waiting there. As a reminder, not a request now. So all that desire, that true desire, must come from the spiritual self. And it is therefore not dependent upon time. And it must be an internal pathway. So where the ego says, I lack and I must gain control or ownership, this single desire, the desire for truth, is not for the ownership of truth, but for the becoming truth. And as soon as you realize your truth, there is no becoming at all. There is no lack and then achievement. Rather, I always was. So this single desire, this request, is your devotional. And the devotional request is the cleansing away of what is in your way. Hence, when one is true, you get the glimpses of success. So let your dedication be true. Surrender all desire but this request for truth. Be dedicated to its journey. All other desires are related to the physical world and are born of ego. So the ego seeks to control, but the spirit then seeks comfort, acceptance. One is doing and one is being. The desires do not request being, only doing. One is future, one is present. One is based in lack and one is based in truth. And the ego will never see the other side because it is most at threat by this stillness. It must purely be the opening to the truth that you truly want. So when your ego mind is rambling on and is seeking things to fulfill its lack of love, be present to it and come into the present moment. Connect to your breath, your sense of touch, and surrender into that stillness that will come then. And know that you are truly that. The physical world will be compelling and will pull you constantly. Constantly will pull you into the needs of the physical world. And yet your path can only be in the interior. And your weapon that you have is your consciousness. It is passive. It is permanent. It requires nothing for you to do. So see your ego come up. See your ego wanting to live and to do. But recognize it as that. And know that beyond it is the true self that is waiting. And let that be your signpost for what you truly want. Be dedicated to your own true self. If you want it and you are true to it, you will be given it. not optionally, but you will be given. It is there for all to have. It's not something you can own. It is something that you are. No one is left behind in that. Because in essence, that is the truth for all living beings. So I remind you that next week we are opening to questions on a topic of your choice, but preferably one that the whole group will be interested in. Bring your questions, but do not tell the medium what your questions are. Until then, God bless you all.